Because a lot of the conversations that I had about intention ask you to set one as if it's this futuristic, focused, energetic, as if you can say, I now place myself in a particular field of energy and it shall sustain itself, during the exercise that I'm about to encounter. For me, the word intention and intent is about what's going on. So your intent is what you're intent upon. So what you're focused upon, how you're focused upon it. And I know we have conversations about what is your intention with my daughter kind of thing, which feels future oriented, but at the same time, it's not the kind of thing that you set, like your future intention with my daughter is not, I'm going to be full of grace and the kind of conversations that we're having in that very metaphysical, manifest consciousness way. Even that intention with my daughter is like, what are you going to be doing with her? Are you going to marry her? Is that, have you made these decisions already? Whereas setting an intention, the way that it's commonly spoken about at the moment, just in the things that I access, I don't know whether you access things that talk about it differently, feels more like we're yet to make that decision, and it's something that will affect what we're doing simply by focusing now in a very different way. Which for me, the word intention doesn't seem to fit for some reason. So what I'm intent upon is what I'm doing, which is talking to you, to myself, to the microphone and the camera. What I'm doing is in a now moment. And I guess what I want you to think about is, what does intention mean for you? I've had some very interesting experiences lately with some friends who are manifestation consciousness individuals. So for them, when something happens, it's the result of an energetic that you send out and engender. There are morphic fields of things that you can live in and attract and sustain. That's a very manifestation consciousness. Ken Stone, the soul archaeologist, would call it a control consciousness, where you believe you are in control, you are somehow pulling strings, and reaping the benefits and punishments of the way that you're living, speaking, thinking, feeling. Which is not quite the same as the law of attraction, which is another very interesting notion. There seems to be so many different interpretations. And even though there doesn't seem to be one creator of the idea, let me go back to my research on that before I put anything in stone. I'd say the most popular proponent of that concept, the law of attraction, would be Abraham. And the more I encounter it, because I guess I don't directly go out there and try and find it, but it does seem to find me in different ways, just on the edges of other things that I'm looking at. From my interpretation of what Abraham is saying, doesn't feel like it's that same manifestation consciousness where you reap the benefits and punishments of the morphic field that you're in, feeling, speaking, saying, doing. It feels less like an elastic band of responsibility. I'm not sure if I'm ready to talk about what it's more about yet. I mean, this is an episode about intention. So if we focus on intent, I guess that's more where I feel like the Abraham version of the law of attraction is going into conversations about the now of intent, rather than the how will I get what I want at the end by doing this now. That's not a now intent. That's a means to an end, which is a very manifestation consciousness concept and process. It's not about what I'm feeling now, what I can allow now, and what I can experience now. It's about what I can do now in order for something else in the not too distant future or the very distant future to occur. How can I control and ensure the path toward something else? Whereas my concept of intent and my understanding of Abraham's law of attraction is more about here. The here and nowness of intent and energetic force. It still feels, I was going to say a little bit like in separation, but that's not quite the way I want to describe it. It still feels like it works for people in separation, I guess, is the point. And I guess, again, that's why there's so many interpretations of it in separation as a means to an end, even though I don't think I've ever heard Abraham explain it that way. But I haven't watched all their footage and read all the books, so it could be out there, people. And I think it changes. I think, like a lot of channels who embody a message need to speak the language of the time. And if at the time people need to hear a means to an end story, then I think they'll hear that version. I don't think it's that the new version makes the old version wrong. I think it just changes the audience that it's relevant to. The same way that the story about love and can be a story about forgiveness for one person and can be a story about forgiveness being unnecessary to another person. I don't think that one is true and one is not. I think you just pick what you need to hear in order for your truth to feel true, vibrant, energetic, valid, relevant, inspiring, on purpose, whatever those words are that they need to be. All right, I'm going to end this because now I have to figure out in the new house how to get all this sorted, and hopefully our internet is a bit faster here, so there won't be any lag. Cross your fingers, people, even though this is the end and you've already seen it. It's only the beginning for me. Good morning, this is Melanie Brockwell with the Oneness Talking Point at our fabulous new house, which I can see and you can't because you're watching me. This is I'm just trying to think what number episode we are. 19th episode of Oneness Talking Point.